Hello once again, viewers. This is the fourth, no, maybe fourth or fifth day, depending on which order I release these in, of the of the first week of reviews for my YouTube show, Chizzo Reviews. Now, as you can see, we have two action figures, a little key, and then a power morpher. No, I'm not doing another multi-review like the first day. That was a special event. No, this is all for one toy. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Mix and Morph Base. It is also called the Morphing Base or the Ranger Mix and Matcher, depending on who you're talking to. As you can see, we've got Tommy, and we've got a translucent Tommy. It's Attack of the Clones! It's Attack of the Clones! No. He's just a little add-on, because this is a toy in which you can, as one of the previous names I listed suggests, mix and match body parts of the Rangers. But before we get into that, let's look at the detail of the base itself. Then we'll look at the figures, and we'll move on from there. As you can see, it's got the nice dragon coin molded in here, which means this is obviously Tommy's base, although the ones that come with different figures have the same coin, so I don't think it matters. You've got a translucent, sparkly plastic that is very pretty. Mostly I think it's because it's a special edition toy. It's, you know, we've got hooks on the side to make it look like it's actually part of your belt. And that's because Zyuranger, Zyuranger. I'm not gonna sing the song, don't worry. It clips onto your belt. They put the Z onto the clip. I thought that was kind of clever. Because in the actual show, this was not on the back of the morpher. It ended up on the toy, but not the morpher. It also ended up on the Dragon Zord too. I wonder why they didn't pay attention to that. Anyway, it also has a mystical design because the Zeo Rangers, their grand leader was a wizard instead of a floating head in a jar. And then, you know, they've got the molded-in details to kind of, you know, they've got the place where the colored dots would be molded in. If you want, you can paint those in yourself, you know, mod the toy. I've got nothing against modded toys. I simply don't do it myself. And you can see them on the bottom here. And there's actually some detail on the inside, and we will open it up, and I'll show you that. I'm going to set it down and pick the camera up again, and get you a nice bird's eye view of this thing. As you can see, it's got more mystical patterns. A magical circle with hieroglyphs that do not translate into English because I believe it's a fan language. And then the 4 tabs have circles on them. I think they're kind of multi-purpose. You know, they show exactly where, you know, the head and the shoulders and the waist should end up after you place them in. But they also form part of the pattern when it's locked in like this and when it's opened and ready. And I will show you that. If I can do it with one hand here, because I don't have a tripod. Yep, I did it. And you see the lines, if you can see them, still match up with the pattern. And as long as I have it open, we are gonna, as long as I have it, I'll leave it open there for later, I guess. I'll push this to the side right now. And we're going to review some of the details on the little action figures. I know they're little details, but I like to cover everything this time. Now, here we have Tommy, the Green Ranger, created by Rita Repulsa. Now, I'm going to get a close-up so that you can see his belt here is in a nice, pretty silver. They included a metallic kind of gold on the front, although they ignored that on the back, I guess because they did not want to paint the little tabs that will plug into the little slots on the Morphin base. They didn't do a lot of detail on the head. You know, they gave the silver mouth and the visor, but I kind of wish that they would have done a little more, you know, some silver around it. But it's a little helmet, and I'm willing to forgive that. And of course, the shield we all know and love so much. Drastically reduced because it won't go on the base if there are any shoulder patterns that extend beyond the normal perimeters of the toy. He's got some nice muscle detail in there. They've got the molded in straps that you kind of saw, I think you saw by accident in the show. They were supposed to be gold, but they didn't paint them, I guess, because that's not how they wanted it to look. The gloves, also very simple, instead of having a little golden band, because that would have been too hard to paint. They just went with the stripes. Now, it's all plain white on the bottom, but it's zigzagged on the top. Now, you know, zigzagged on the point you would be seeing if you looked at it from the front. Plain from the back. And that, I thought that was kind of lazy. They didn't even, now this they could have done. They could have painted the inside of the hands instead of left with the green plastic that it's molded from. I mean, they were able to paint his neck, weren't they? They didn't have to do that, and it was a poor job, but at least they paid attention to that detail. Okay, enough of my ranting about this toy. I think we'll mix and match his counterpart, mostly because I think if I took this thing apart, I would find more problems with it. Here we have what I like to call a Ranger clone. They're simple translucent figures that you can sometimes find with the toy that don't follow the pattern of any particular Ranger. I think this one is supposed to be a copy of the Red Ranger. What a coincidence, they'd make the Red Ranger out of red translucent plastic. He does have the molded in belts, but he doesn't have the armbands or the shield, so it's probably the Red Ranger. And I'm just going off the helmet shape here, which is kind of hard to define with this camera because, well, my camera sucks. But it's my only camera, so you're going to have to, forgive me. Now, it has very prominent screws in the back, but that was the only way they could hold this crap together, so I'm going to forgive them for that. Now, we're going to have to take it apart in order to use it, but you don't want to just yank it out. That can sometimes damage the tabs that hold everything together, which means you will actually break the toy you're supposed to take apart. So instead, if you see those little two slots on his back, for those of you who know how these kinds of toys work, you will need a key. Not a Ranger key, just a normal little mix and match key. And you take the two tabs on the key, and you stick them into their corresponding slots on his torso. First thing that you'll see come off will be his head, hopefully. Yep, he loses. Oh, and he lost an arm, too. Oh, there go the legs and the arm. Oh, no! But now you have the body. Now, I'm going to bring the Morphin base back in. And I think we'll start with the limbs before we add the body. Just kind of work backwards for the sake of drama. We'll pop you in here. And I like to add little sound effects even though it doesn't have any. Because, it's a simple toy. It forces you to be creative. Like, how dare they? No, I love that. I love toys that force you to be creative. It's why I used to love Legos so much. I still play with them sometimes. That's why I have a whole drawer full. Now we'll add the arms. Sorry, I kind of lost control of it for a second. Now, keep in mind these are small parts. They're easy to lose track of. So if you want to keep everything organized, make sure all the parts make up at least a single body so that they're harder that at least you don't have any little pieces missing that you may want to use later. And then try to keep as many as you can in a box, or because I only have 2 figures, I keep them in the morpher. It does not close all the way, but it helps, I find. I will add the legs now. Possibly the biggest part that uses the most plastic. And now finally, something every Ranger needs if he's going to be a hero. His heart. Now, Eagle, pull this switch. It's alive! No, actually, it's dead plastic still, but who cares? It's a fun toy. Now, to remove it, it's going to have to do a little bit of a jumping trick. I'm going to set this down slowly and show you how to get it out. You get it out by unlocking the base again, by grabbing the hooks and pulling. And if you have this, it's something I can't catch on camera right now because, like I said before, I don't have a tripod. It'll do a little flip. Now, it's a little detail that I don't think was intentional, but they marketed anyway. It's something that's nice and quite entertaining. I'll set these back up so you can get a good view of everything once more. That is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Morphin base. I bought mine offline for 15 bucks. And because it's a special edition toy, I think they're allowed to ask that much. That's just my opinion. And I think it might be cheaper online than it is in stores. I don't know. I haven't seen the prices yet. Now, I like this because it's simple. But don't call me a hypocrite for calling the Samurais too simple. That was an actual morpher. They were supposed to add a lot of sound details so that we could actually feel like we're Power Rangers. This allows me to pretend I have an original Power Morpher. I really don't. I would love one, or at least the Legacy Power Morpher that they've released recently. The die-cast one with the mix and match with the interchangeable coins. So anyway, just to recap, this good, the Morphin base good, Samurais are bad. Good, bad. Good, bad. You got the gist of it? Because I can go over it one more time. No? Wait, don't leave. I'm done. I am El Chizzo, and thank you for watching El Chizzo Reviews Mighty Morphin Base.